Hello and welcome to the Tinker Cards video gallery. Today I'm sharing with you sort of a quick Christmas present which you can either do as a stocking filler or just for sort of friends who work in offices, or even for your own craft desk basically. So it's like a little calendar and it stands up like this. It should do actually. There you go. And yeah, you can get these little calendar tabs in any sort of pound shop, and I've decorated it with using some stamps from the Sugar Rush set by Stamplerations. I thought it would be quite funny, sort of, because Sunday, sort of, because we all like weekends, really, I suppose, rather than actually work, if that makes sense. Right, so all you need is half a piece of A4 card, and then you score down at 9 centimeters, at 18 centimeters, at 19, and at 20 centimeters. And you need a matching piece of patterned paper. So you can either work with this side or the one here. I just prefer to have it the join actually at the front, because then when you look in, you're not necessarily sort of like seeing it here at the back, because it's behind what you're actually looking at. So a piece of matching paper. Then you can either do a doily, or I've used a scallop circle, which I cut with using my Eclipse. And then you need a matching circle with some pattern paper. I thought the sprinkle ones would be quite good. And then you got your basic layout, having the little tab. That's what they look like. And then I just matted that. I'm going to mat that on a little piece of green card. And then I've already fussy cut and coloured in my ice cream. And the Sugar Rush set is actually the current Stamplerations Stamp Club set, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4 sweeties, and then loads of sentiments, and there's some really funny ones in, something that you can make up, something like I've never met a calorie I didn't like, what's the scoop, you've got your sweethearts in, you've got your treat in, you got Can Fix, so there's loads of scope to play with. And you can also sort of combine it, of course, with other sentiments, because they're sort of all like almost like in individual words. I'm just going to pop this to one side here because I've already stamped my thing. So I've got a little bit of washi tape that I'm probably going to use. So I tend to leave it flat for starting off. And what I'm going to do is just quickly layer it all up, really, and that's pretty much it. There's not much to it. You can make a whole bunch of them in an evening and use them as like little sort of stocking fillers. You can even really nice presents to make, to send through the post, sent to friends. Because they sort of fold relatively flat, so you get away with a large letter, especially if you sort of put a nice card in with it, and that would be quite a good nice present. Mine will be going in the post, so I'm a little bit late for that, but I've got to get my Christmas cards out this week Sunday, so basically, so it's going to go slightly off the edge either side here. So I'm just going to bear that in mind when I stick this on. So just get a bit of glue down. And yeah, I mean, of course you can do this with sort of like sticky tape as well. I'm a sort of Mrs. Glue most of the time, I must say. So if you just do that, stick that down. And then I did put a little piece of washi tape across, so just for something added. I think I'll pop it the other way around because you've got more of a pattern there. So I'll probably do something like this. And I just need to cut the edge off here. So it doesn't have to go absolutely to the edge because you'll be partially covering it anyway. And when I tend to use washi tape in that way, I always fold it over because it can have sometimes a bit of a habit of curling up. So next we'll do this. I know it's got a sticky on these little tabs, but I'm going to stick them down with glue as well because they can be a little bit stiff when you take your individual months, the calendar bits off. And I find if they are sort of like securely glued down, that they do last a bit better. So I'll just do that. So I'm going to stick that on my mint green card. So which I've of course cut slightly larger than the calendar itself. And then I'm going to stick that on my paper. So let's just stick that on. And it goes somewhere towards the bottom right hand corner there. So it goes on here. And next we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So I got my couple of sentiments already on an acrylic block. So what I'll need is a piece of just a cut off of card. I'm just needing to see that I got about, it's a bit wider than what I used. I've got loads, I've got tons here. I've just forgotten to take that one out beforehand. So I'm just going to root through them to find one. There's surely one in that will fit the sentiment. I'd be surprised if there wasn't. Just bear with me a moment. It's a bit wider too. Right. Well, it looks as if there isn't one that sort of fits it pretty much, so I've got to cut one down. Just bear with me. Just going to need to cut just a tiny bit off. So let's just do that. Okay, that should be it now. I just see, I knew there was something that I'd meant to do beforehand. Well, this is slightly wider, but that will do it. So, and then I'm going to ink up one of them, and I'm going to use my black Memento ink for that. And I'm going to stamp it to one side, sort of nearer the edge. And here we go. That's that. It goes to one side again. And next I'm going to put a little dollop of glue on there, up to about here. and that goes underneath but still on. So that's where I'm going to pop that. So it's just like in line with the bottom line of the calendar. I'm going to take that strip just right across to the edge. That in itself will help secure the calendar down as well a bit further. So all I need to do is snip this bit off. That's it. And then next this can go on my calendar here, on my base. Now let's stamp the other sentiment first and emboss that. That's probably the best thing to do, because I did just stamp it with black on my original one. So I'm going to just black emboss this quickly. Get some watermark ink out. I'm just going to put one here. And this is where it's probably getting a little bit tricky, because with the embossing you're not quite sure where you've stamped. So I'll just sort of make one out there. And this one goes about here. So just make sure that you stamp above, really. You can, if you hold it against the light, it will just show like a little bit of a shimmer. And that should give you a bit of an indication as to where to stamp. Let's pop that to one side, and then I've got my black embossing powder here. And get a little brush that I always tend to have ready, just to brush a bit off, because with having got my other elements on, I didn't use the embossing buddy on it, but if you have like a little brush you can always tidy up around and get rid of the excess little bits. So just pop that back into my container. Right, yeah, I can always use my brush as well to funnel it back into the container. Put that to one side. And get my heat tool on it. Right, that looks quite nice. It actually makes the stamping a lot more visible, and it's quite good because it provides like a bit of a highlight at the top there. So next, just going to stamp this on. I'm just using some black to stamp my Handmade by stamp on. And that can go on there, what's going to be the reverse for me. I mean, you can sort of embellish and add other pockets to it for sort of post-it notes and whatever, but then they become less easy to send through the post again. So that goes. Oops, gosh, that's fallen down now. Never mind. I can pick that up. Right, so just quickly sticking this down, and I'm going to align it here. And the good thing about glue is that you always have the time to just slightly move it around so you can actually center it as well as possible. So that's that. Just nicely stick this down. And then all we need to do is, I've got some little foam sticky bits on my ice cream already. So I'm going to take the backing for those off. So if you sort of like color them all in and you got everything pre-cut, it's just so quick to assemble. You can make your own backgrounds. I mean, I decided to use papers, and the papers are actually by Do Craft. They're from the Creativity Club downloads, and they were some from during the summer with an ice cream theme, so I thought they'd be going very well with this. So that goes just here, and this is at this point where I would fold it before I put my sprinkles on. So you just fold it over, and then you fold up, down and up again. So you've got like a slack concertina bit here. I'm going to put glue on here, and then I'll stick this to my front. And that is what provides the stability for it to keep standing upright rather than flatten down for the 10th fold. Let's put that in here. And then all I do is I'll pop this on, align it, and again this is where glue comes in quite handy. And then you just press down. And that's it. There we go. All I've got to do now is add a couple of sprinkles, and then we're done. Right, let's get these here. I've just got a couple here. Just see where they go. Oops. Now that one needs to come out later. It's just gone underneath, so never mind. So there can be one on here. And let's do that. And another one, a red one here. Just sort of something like that. Okay, so I'm just getting my glue, and then I'll just pop that on, and whilst moving them slightly to one side so I know pretty much where I want it them to be that. And let's just put one on here. That's it. So you can of course add a little bit of glitter glue if you want to. That should add quite a nice finish for some added sparkle. Yep, sometimes I tend to wipe my tweezers in between just in case I picked up some glue, so that when I get back to picking up some more of these sequins, then they're easier to place. Right, so let's see. I think I'll be adding a touch of glitter glue to the cherry, and then that's me done. Just a little bit. Come out. There you go. That's that, and I'll just do that with this one here as well, with the one that I made before. So there you go. Now that's a calendar finished, and of course if you don't talk you can make them much faster. Here we go. So this is like a little nice sort of small present, stocking filler, whatever you want to call it, and I hope you enjoyed watching, and I shall be back soon with another project for you. Have a lovely day. Thanks for watching. Bye.